All right. So the types of international banking offices, right? Um, you will see that the foreign banks stationed in Seoul, Korea, they have all different levels of bank offices, right? Some of them are correspondent bank, and some of them are rep offices, and some of them are foreign bank branches, and some of them are subsidiary and affiliate banks. Um, Stanchart kind of bank, right? Used to be 제일은행, but now it's a subsidiary of Standard Chartered Bank, right? Adjunct banks and then offshore banking centers, that kind of concepts will be discussed. And shell branches are also their shell company, paper company kind of things, I would say. And then international banking facilities, let's go through, right? Good. Correspondent bank, right? So correspondent bank, we covered this issue before, right? The foreign banks mutually having deposit accounts from each other's bank, right? I'm Bank of America, you Citibank, I have you, I'm Bank of America, you're Barclays in London. So I open my account in Barclays London, and you open your account in Bank of America's New York account, right? Branch. So that's correspondent banking relations, correspondent 특파원 kind of ideas. And then banking relation exists when two banks maintain deposits with each other, right? Correspondent banking account allows a bank's MNC clients, multinational corporations, to conduct business worldwide through the local banks or its correspondents. So instead of me going into London and then do our business as a banking, well, open an account in Barclays, and then Barclays will serve some to a certain part, a portion as on behalf of us. Representative office, well, is the next level. Okay, correspondent banking is more like a rather, how do you say, not that much aggressive one. So when you are in a young stage, maybe, right, small bank, right, not enough capital. If you have don't have if you don't have enough of money to open London branch, right? Let's say you open your bank is maybe Andy Kim Bank, right? Small baby step bank in Korea. Andy Kim Bank started, and then I don't have enough money to do my business in London, but I open my correspondent banking account, and then somehow the Barclays, right, in London, and then we can mutually open account, and then indirect ways, right, I can ask over there to serve my clients later on in London, right? But as you see, the indirect relation with your client and then Barclays and Kim, right? That will be a lot more costly, right? But that's inevitable because Andy Kim Bank is very small. Representative office is the next one. Rep office, people call it. Some of these banks in the foreign banks in Korea are very small rep offices. For example, in 20 years ago, I remember there was a kind of guys called what's that, Dresdner, Kleinwort, Benson kind of things, right? Those kind of small investment bank houses, they used to have rep offices instead of having a full branch of it. Small number of people working over there, like 20 people or 50 people working, whereas Bank of America had its own Seoul branch, which had about 100 plus people, employees working over there, right? Now it's even bigger. But rep office is like a really starting, with your own people a bit. This is a small service facility staffed by parent bank personnel that is designed to assist multinational corporate clients of the parent bank in dealings with the bank's correspondents, and representative offices also assist with information about local business customs and credit evaluation of the MNC's local customers. So it's like always information game, right? Not just information game, but collecting those information when your MNC clients want to have some information about the foreign locations, right? And then they want to do business in foreign countries. Well, they could collect those information through banking network, right? If you're servicing those MNCs, your rep offices can be helpful for your client. Foreign branches, a lot bigger. I told you, right? Seoul branch of Bank of America. Foreign bank branch operates like a local bank, but it is legally part of the parent. Okay, a part of the parent. It is subject to both the banking regulations of home country and foreign country, and can provide a much fuller range of services. You have many more people, employees over there, a lot more range of services than a representative office. Branch banks are the most popular ways for US banks to expand overseas. One of the frequently asked questions to me when I was working for Bank of America was, number one, is it Central Bank of America, like a Federal Reserve? No. Number two, in Seoul branch of Bank of America, do you serve? Can I deposit my money to Bank of America Seoul branch where I work, right? I worked before, right? No. Okay, that was just a foreign branch of Bank of America. So it has some part of the services available in Seoul, the other part of services not available. What were available? Corporate lending and borrowing. So if you are corporations like Samsung Electronics, you have to deal with me, right? I lend you money and you do business, whatever you want in foreign, raising capital. LG Display, right? That LCD company, right? We brought some syndication loan to you guys, right? And all these kind of corporate lending and borrowing. And if you want to do some derivatives transaction, right? Foreign exchange, right? FX derivative. Well, welcome, right? Bank of America was doing that. But if you're a small guy, retail guys, right? Person, no. Go back to LA and then open your account and then maybe come back. That was our policy over there, right? No retail customers. We are busy. So only part of the services are available in foreign branches. That's that. How about Korean banks, right? Do they open this kind of foreign branches? As far as I know, they do, right? Woori Bank has a branch in Sydney, and then Han Seung-yeon, one of your friends, right, worked there as an internship, right, last year or the year before. In Sydney, right, and then Singapore and all these kind of financial centers. Korean banks diligently they are opening up some branches like that, and subsidiary and affiliate banks, right? Subsidiary bank is a locally incorporated bank wholly or partly owned by foreign parent, right? For example, Citibank, right? Citibank has subsidiary in Korea. So Citibank, you see a lot of retail branches compared to Bank of America, right? Bank of America does not have any retail branches at all. I told you we don't do business in retail. What's that? Individual clients, right? But Citibank, they have that. Why? Because they are subsidiary, okay? And then affiliate banks, right? This is one. It is one that is partly owned but not controlled by the parent. Okay, U.S. parent banks like to have foreign subsidiaries because they allow U.S. banks to underwrite securities. And then what is that? Eject Bank. This is federally chartered subsidiaries of U.S. banks that are physically located in the U.S. and are allowed to engage in a full range of international banking activities. Well, that's more specific to U.S. regulations, so I'm not going to test on you. Offshore banking centers, right? Offshore banking centers. This is city or country, okay? A country whose banking system is organized to permit external accounts beyond the normal scope of local economic activity. The host country usually grants complete freedom from host country governmental banking regulations. So the IMF recognizes the following as major offshore banking centers. It's like more, if IMF did not say it, I guess this is more like a subjective judgment call to call it as an offshore banking center or not. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay? But IMF clearly said it, okay? So it's more like objective these days. Right, so Bahamas, Bahama Mama, got a biggest town in Bahama. Okay, Bahrain and Cayman Island and Hong Kong and Netherlands and Antilles. We have Dutch student Luke, right? I guess you have better idea about this place. Typically, these are West Indies, where the European colonies before, and then where used to be a lot of treasure islands. What do you mean treasure islands? Like 200 years ago, right? Spanish conquerors, right? They either call it invaded or colonized those South American continent, and then extracted a lot of gold, Pizarro, this kind of Cortez kind of guys, and then they carried a lot of treasures back to their home country. 100% back, or partially leaving it back over there. If you are Cortez, what would you do? You're loyal to the king and then leave, bring everything to the home country, or partially leave it, 짱박아도 a little bit to your treasure island over there. So those treasure islands, okay, these days, okay, serve as either tax havens or offshore banking centers, right? Let's be honest over there. And then this is one of the most popular places where they issue Bitcoin kind of things, cryptocurrencies. Why? They say there are a lot of treasure ships sunk down deep in the ocean, okay? 100 years ago, 200 years ago. And then those guys, poor unfortunate ships, there was a shipwreck with a lot of gold in it. So with the guaranteed extraction of this gold from that ship, let's issue some cryptocurrency based on it. Yeah. So that's what's going on over there, right? In cryptocurrency. Panama and Singapore, right? And Hong Kong and Singapore, yeah, obviously, right? This is financial center of Asia, okay? If not the financial center of the world, right? It's getting even bigger these days, the transaction size, because the Chinese economy is expanding like crazy. And then, right, you need some Chinese speaking cities to support that, right? Shell branches. Well, shell branches need to be nothing more than a post office box. Essentially, it's just a paper company to support your international banking business. The actual business is done by the parent bank at the parent at the parent bank. The purpose was to allow U.S. banks to compete internationally without the expense of setting up operations for real. Okay. And then international banking facilities. Well, this is a separate set of accounts that are segregated on the parent's books. On international banking facilities, not a unique physical or legal identity. Any U.S. bank can have one, and international banking facilities have captured a lot of the euro-dollar business that was previously handled offshore. Okay, not that important anyway. But Exhibit 11.2, organizational structure of international banking offices from the U.S. perspective, is shown over here. You can replace this U.S. word with domestic word, okay, domestic. Type of bank, physical location, okay, domestic bank, of course, located in domestic region. Otherwise, how would you call it the domestic bank? Accepting foreign deposits, no, for domestic banks. And make loans to foreigners, not really. Subject to Fed Reserve requirements, yes. You are under the regulation of, domestic financial supervisory, and then the central bank. Otherwise, you'll be screwed, right? And then FDIC insured deposits. What is FDIC? 예금보험, like Federal Depository Insurance Corporation. Federal Depository Insurance Corporation. One of your GBAs, right? 글경 선배 is working for Korea's 예보공사, right? Some of them are working over there diligently. One of the 금융공기업, you want to go there, right? A friend of mine is also there, right? So, great one. Go ahead and do it. Segregate legal equity from parents. Separate legal equity from the parents. No, you are the parent itself, right? Correspondent banking. You will see the summarization, and then rep offices, and then foreign branch, subsidiary bank, affiliated banks, and then eject bank, offshore banking center, and then international banking facility, right? Anyway, so go ahead and see it, and then capital adequacy standards, right, is the next thing I want to talk to you. Wait a minute.